Hello, and welcome to another JoJoMasu tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you 3 different ways to make your 3D character walk. There are already quite a few tutorials on this subject, but users are still having issues getting their 3D characters to walk, so I am going to try to explain it using a different approach. As usual, I am going to show you what we will be doing and then go through and explain it in detail. Let's get started. Open a new project and drag a 3D character kicking and screaming onto the work area. Align the character to the right.
Now change the action of the character from idle to walking. Now we are going to add an animation by first selecting the character on the timeline and then clicking on Add Animation. In the pop-up menu, select Position under the Properties tab and Linear under the Easing tab. When you add an animation to the character, the app adds 2 keyframes to the character's timeline. Those are the diamond shapes on the timeline. There is a starting keyframe and an ending keyframe. 2 things to keep in mind. First, the starting keyframe is created wherever your playhead is. And second, if you can't see the keyframes, then change the track size to large like this. Adjust the width of your keyframes to match the animation and duration of your character's timeline. Click on the starting keyframe so it turns blue, indicating that it is selected. Then place your 3D character in its starting position. If it's already in its starting position, then just click on it to lock it into the keyframe. Next, click on the ending keyframe to select it, which turns it blue, and click and drag your character to its ending position. Now we are ready to test and make any adjustments needed. I am now adjusting the keyframes to eliminate the sliding effect on our character. That looks just about right. One final little adjustment to get rid of the last bit of slide. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now on to the next example. This one is the same as the last one with one exception. I am going to disable the start and end parts of the animation so he will be walking the whole time without standing at the beginning or the end. Since this is the same as the previous example, I am not going to cover all the steps we already did in the previous one, only on the new parts. So here is a new part. To disable the start or end of an animation, simply click on the name of the animation, in this case walking. In the subsequent pop-up, Toggle the Disable Start and Disable End buttons and they will turn blue, indicating that they are active. By default, these actions are needed so that the character will return to its default idle position for the next animation. What that means is that if you were stringing multiple animations together, there needs to be a transition from one animation to another. The idle type action starts and ends every animation, so the end of one animation will transition smoothly to the beginning of the next animation. We can safely disable the start and end here because there are no other animations. I am going to have the character walk across the work area or stage from the right side to the left, so I am starting him off the stage on the right and walking off the stage on the left. As you can see, there is a lot less adjustment needed by doing it this way. Now on to the last example. In this example, we won't be using any keyframe animations to move the character across the stage. Instead, we are going to use the motion in, position, right to left feature. In order to do that, we'll be pulling back away from the stage so we have a better view of what is happening in the wings. As with the last example, I am disabling the start and end actions. Now to use the motion feature, select the character in the timeline, click on motion, then in, then position, then left. Increase the length of the animation to almost the full length of the character's timeline. Click on the motion animation in the character's timeline to highlight it. The preset settings box will open. So now we can adjust the starting position of the character using the slider of the motion animation feature. Now move the playhead to the end of the character's timeline so we can move the character to its final position. One last adjustment to the position and the easing and we are ready to test. There's a bit of sliding happening, but we can easily fix that by increasing the length of the motion animation. That's perfect. Well, I hope this in-depth tutorial was able to clear up some of the confusion around getting your 3D character to walk. If you have any questions or need more information, don't hesitate to reach out via the Facebook group or my YouTube channel by leaving a comment. I can't wait to see what you create. Till next time, keep on animating. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and notify. It really helps to motivate us to keep creating these tutorials.